This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Showers and possible storms this afternoon with the 3 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek. The federal government says it understands why Ukrainians in Australia want to travel home, but they're being warned not to go. There are concerns people are travelling to the region to join the conflict against Russia. Foreign Minister Marise Payne says Australians joining the fight may be breaking the law.
Existing Australian law prohibits Australian citizens and residents from engaging in hostile activities overseas unless serving in the armed forces. So Australians who travel to fight with a non-government armed group may be committing a criminal offence.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison is to hold talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to discuss assistance for the country. Australia is providing funds to help the country buy non-military equipment and medical supplies. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has been officially banned from travelling to Australia in response to his invasion of Ukraine. It also takes in Mr. Putin's inner circle as well as more than 300 other Russian individuals. The move to ban a world leader is extremely rare. Severe weather warnings have been eased in flood-hit southeast Queensland. The next step is the clean-up. Tragically, 8 people have died. The attention now centres on far north New South Wales. Lismore is the worst hit. Shayla Smith, who's there, says the water rose fast and came up to their deck within 2 hours, trapping herself and her family inside.
It was scary because we had to sit on the lounge and it kept on rising and rising and rising, and then we couldn't open the door because there was too much water inside, and then the SES had to rip our door open to let us out.
The state government has labelled Labor's health promises as reckless spending spree ahead of next month's election. Health Minister Stephen Wade says the Libs are also investing in health.
They're recruiting 125 paramedics on top of the 169 SAS staff that were employed in our first 2 years. We're continuing to build an ambulance service that will meet the needs of the South Australian community going forward. Our commitments are completely funded.
There have been 1,358 new COVID cases recorded in SA today. Another death has also been reported, a man in his 80s. The spread of the Omicron variant has had little impact on retail figures over the past month. Latest data by the Bureau of Statistics shows spending increased 1.8% in January. The greatest growth stemmed from clothing, footwear and personal accessories, up 7% on the same period last year. Retail's Association Chief Executive Paul Zara says he hopes current momentum continues.
Well, retailers have been resilient throughout the pandemic. Whilst businesses were battling ongoing supply chain issues and staff shortages due to the rising Omicron cases, it's had little impact on consumer spending and the willingness of people to get out and shop.
Now turning to FIVEAA Sport. The AFL has again been pressed on when AFLW matches will be aligned with men's games as double headers. Chief Executive Gil McLachlan says it's being discussed but can't say when it will happen.
We're working through a process on that, but it has support from a large section of the female football community, and we would like, where we can, to play double headers and play women's games alongside men, but we're working through that.
The Australian Test cricket squad is starting to train in Pakistan ahead of Friday's first test. The players are being put through a gym set before on-field sessions over the next 3 days. And Australia's swimmers won't be competing in any events in Russia this year. Swimming Australia has announced no teams will be sent to the nation, including the Short Course World Championships in December. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
At 74 South, got urgent sewer works, Military Road near Bower Road. Traffic slow around there. Rosalind Park, Burst Water Main, Penfold Road near Mary Penfold Drive. Faberton, look out for road plates causing a hazard on Port Road near George Street. Speeds at 40. And Darlington works on the Flagstaff Road upgrade continue near the South Road intersection. Cameras, Angle Vale Road, Angle Vale, and One Tree Hill Road at Gould Creek. Want free delivery? Shop Amazon.com.au. That's right. Eligible orders over $39 receive free delivery at Amazon.com.au. Easy as. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Now the FIVEAA forecast. Showers and possible storms this afternoon. A possible shower tomorrow, 27. Wednesday cloud clearing, 28. And Thursday mostly sunny, a top of 32. Right now it's 26. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
A grave warning about a mosquito-borne disease at SA. One life already lost. Historic pictures as deadly flooding swallows East Coast cities and towns. Exclusive. The father of a missing southern suburbs man tells of his last day seen alive. What a new brain bank has revealed about the harm of contact sport. Plus how yoga bolsters heart health. I'm Brent Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Jolly good afternoon. It's 5 minutes past 3 o'clock, and we're joined in the studio by our favourite vet, Dr. Derek McNair.
Pet Talk Back with Dr. Derek McNair.
And if you're at home, you can jump on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you stream your online services, because Dr. Derek is in the studio with us, which is excellent news. It's nice to finally see you face to face.
It's nice to be back. It's much nicer to be back. It feels good being in the studio. It's funny on the phone a little bit.
It's not as personal, is it?
It's not as personal, but I don't have my dog barking in the background, at least. I guess we don't have those interruptions. But yeah, it's lovely to be back. It's sort of, I guess all these little things give you more of a feeling of normality coming back, which is true. Is lovely.
If you have got a question for Dr. Derek, please give us a call on 8223 0000, email on air at 5AA.com.au, or you can send me through a text 0448 08 1395. Now, I said to you before, what would you like to talk about today? And you said chip butties. I was like, oh, interesting. That's got nothing to do with dogs.
No. Well, I've had a few in my time, and I saw you on Hello SA having a chip butty at Gluttony, and I thought, oh, that sounds good. I must go and get one. They're so nice. And I actually Googled, because I thought, everyone from Scotland, we think we invented everything. We almost did, but not quite.
You did invent them. It's a UK thing, isn't it?
It is a UK thing, but according to Mr. Google, Northern England invented the chip butty. I think it was like by gum, ecky thump. I think it was the Newcastle sort of area probably had it. We did invent the deep fried Mars bar, so we're very proud of that. We're quite a healthy society, Glasgow and Scotland.
But I think the real chip butty is white bread, chips, and then vinegar, isn't it? The one that I had on Hello SA was very fancy in a burger and all different sauces, and it was delicious, don't get me wrong. But I think the traditional one is pretty simple.
Yes, and lots of butter, so that when the butter melts, it just goes down your chin onto your shirt. Yeah, that was classical. But yes, hot chips in a sandwich, so highly good. Recommended.
Double carb load.
Yeah, with the subtitle, "I'm not a dietitian."
You are a vet, and we are here to talk our furry friends. So if you do have a call, a question at all, give us a buzz, 8223 0000. But it is the beginning of the year, which timely in my household, because it's always head to the dentist for a checkup.
Oh, gosh, you're a good family, aren't
every
you?
6 months. Well, I get stalked by my dentist, who's also a family friend. Yes. So he always calls.
Yes. Well, stating the obvious, dogs and cats have teeth as well, and we have lots of problems. I mean, this morning I actually did 2 dentals at the clinic, both on dogs. Both lovely dogs. One of them, a couple of the teeth just sort of fell out because they were so bad. And you really do need to look after your dogs, mainly your dog's teeth. Cats are pretty good. Both dogs and cats, you can get dry food that is made to clean their teeth. Most dry food, a lot of people say, I give my dog dry food so that will clean their teeth. It doesn't. Normal dry food is not very good at cleaning teeth at all. There's special dry food that's made. They're like the dental dry food is like miniature brushes.
It's like a Wilcog, isn't it, type thing?
No. They have all the fibres going in one direction. So they're actually, when you look at them under a microscope, they look like brushes.
Oh, right.
And they also make them soft, so that when a dog or a cat bites into them, the teeth sink into the piece of food, and that actually brushes the teeth as they're doing it. Whereas normal dry food, when the dog or cat takes a bite, the piece just shatters, and so it doesn't do anything at all. So, I mean, there's other things you can give. There's various sort of chewy toys and hide chews and bones. Bones are good as long as you choose the right bones. Bones are good. They need to be raw. They need to be too big that they can't fit in your dog's mouth, so they can't be a choking hazard. And they're very good. And you can also brush your dog's or cat's teeth if you're so inclined. You can wipe them with, we've got little cleaning wipes now. Everyone's used to wipes now for cleaning surfaces and everything. But now you can get them for cleaning your dog's and cat's teeth as well.
I did not know that.
That's good. There's many, many things you can do to help keep them good.
Let's talk to Kylie. Hello, Kylie.
Hello there.
Nice to have you. You got a little puppy.
Well, she's big. She doesn't know her own strength. She's a GSP.
Oh.
So she's 1 year old, so she's a big puppy.
She's a big dog.
Yep.
Energetic.
Very energetic. Yes, she's worn me out.
Yeah, GSPs are German short-haired pointers, for anyone who doesn't know.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so where would they go up to? Roughly your hip?
Yes, their back would come up to your waist sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they vary a bit. The girls are a bit smaller than the boys, but yes. Sorry, Kylie, for butting in. Sorry.
No, I'm here for it. Thank you. So we've been waiting for her to have her first heat.
Yes.
We're delaying her desexing for health issues.
Yes.
And so the last day or so we've begun the heat.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a little bit more clingy, which I'm actually grateful for because she's been highly active and not a cuddly little dog or big dog.
Okay.
And I just really want to do the right thing by all the boy dogs in the neighbourhood. So I'm just wondering about walking her and if I can and what I should do, please.
Okay. Yes, you can, but you need to be careful. So if she has a normal heat, it lasts for about 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Is she bleeding at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. That's normal. They normally bleed for about the first week. And then the discharge becomes clear.
Okay.
For about the next week, and then for the last week, everything just dies down and disappears into the sunset, and you get back to normal again. So for the whole time, if you are out on a walk, and if there are male dogs, and sometimes female dogs as well, if they are not on a lead, you will be followed. And you may be pestered because for the whole time she will be attractive to other dogs. So a lot of people, when they go for a walk with their dog, take a stick with them. I would say don't go too far from your house. So certainly don't go to dog parks or anything like that.
No. We're actually really quite lucky. We've got a large garden. Sorry, it's school pickup time, loud.
Yeah.
That's all right. The juggle is real, Kylie. It's all welcome on this program.
And so I can entertain her and just up the mental games, I think, the sensory, the sniffing games in the yard, I think, and just keep her safe at home.
Yes, that's a good idea. You do have to be careful for, if it's a normal season, for the middle week.
Okay.
She will actually be wanting to be mated. So she will actually be looking for a boyfriend, and she may try to escape. So, and being a young, fit GSP, they can jump high buildings in a single bound. So you have to be quite careful. We have had reports, and we often get people coming in saying, the bitch was on heat. She got out. And, we're not sure if she got mated or not. So you do have to be careful for usually for the middle week. But it can vary. It can be a bit earlier, a bit later. But just keep an eye on her behaviour and try and make sure that she cannot escape from your backyard. But keeping her in your backyard, buying things in that are of interest to her, as you say, to keep her occupied, new games, new toys, blah, 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 is a very good idea. But just be careful because she may, at the right time, try and escape herself.
All right.
Kylie, do you want her to have puppies?
No, we don't want her to have puppies. She's been brought to be my children's, like their childhood dog to love and enjoy.
Yeah.
And she's been a beautiful temperament dog, and she's just paid herself off already. She's amazing.
Oh, gorgeous.
They are lovely, lovely dogs. They're very energetic, but they're very loving, brilliant.
Good luck, Kylie.
Yes,
Maybe
good luck.
ring us next week and tell us how you've got on.
All right, love to.
Beauty. Thank you, Kylie. We're going to take a very short break. Dr. Derek is only with us for a few more moments, so if you do have a question about your furry friend, 8223 0000.
A kid's playground, rubbish. A park bench, rubbish. A nature boardwalk, rubbish. You see, the Australian government is helping industry to transform your old rubbish into incredible new things. Proudly remade in Australia. Like this outdoor gym, rubbish. Even this brand new road, rubbish. Every time you recycle, you're helping to remake Australia into a better place for everyone. Remade in Australia. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
About me, she's like dying.
Explore Australia's biggest arts festival at Adelaide Fringe from the 18th of February to the 20th of March. With over 1,000 shows, act now and get your tickets. Supported by principal partner Bank SA. Search Adelaide Fringe today.
Our pets can be such a comfort, and to some of us they are clearly part of the family. So show them you care and head into your local Cheapest Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. There's loads of great deals like the jumbo size Hessian pet bed for $40 or plush cat tunnel for only $20. Call into your nearest Cheapest Chips and check out the Pet Giggle Dog Ball, a must-have, for only $14, or check out the new small coloured bird cage for only $29. Plus, there are loads of pet food hot buys. Pick up 2 400-gram Scooby snacks for only $10. 8 kilograms of Chum dry food for $18.99. That one's for dogs. And also 1 kilogram Cat Pro dried cat food, only $3.99. So get to your local Cheapest Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. Even pets live cheaper every day at Cheapest Chips.
This is the sound of Julian's bargain price vacuum with deep express suction. This is the sound of Julian trying to fix his bargain price vacuum, which infuriates him deeply. Yes, this is the sound of bargain regret. When it comes to the important stuff, like insurance, don't risk it. Go to Amy instead. Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by AAI Limited Trading as Amy, read the PDS at amy.com.au. TMD also available.
Everybody loves their country.
I'm John Miller from Harcourt's Real Estate. What turns browsers into buyers is that wow factor. And there's nothing that brings instant appeal quite like the unique elegance of plantation shutters. For a highlight that adds value and lifts the look of any home, there's no better investment.
Improve, invest and add value with quality plantation shutters by Country. Visit countryblinds.com.au for a free measure and quote.
'Cause everybody loves their country.
Need an electrician? Ken Hall Electricians. We're qualified electricians for power points, sensor lights, smoke alarms, rewires and inspections. And we're as local as you. So give Ken a call. Ken Hall Electricians, 8364 5855.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
And we're talking pets with our favourite vet, Dr. Derek McNair. And if you've got any questions at all, call in 8223 0000. Let's talk to Christine from Merino. Hello, Christine.
Hello, thank you for taking my call. Look, I have a doggy called Bella. She's a Labrador, and I've got the brother as well. Now, she's had arthritis and she went through a bad time, but she's better now. And what we did was we bought, because she can't walk on her back legs, we got her a bed that can be wheeled around so she can go inside and outside, and she's all very comfortable. But what happens is when her brother is outside running around and playing, she starts to cry and bark after him. Is there some apparatus you can buy, and I have seen on the telly, that you can put on your baggy's dog under her back that she can get around by using her front legs?
Can she not use her back legs at all?
one she can't, and the other one she walk a little bit and then she'll limp.
Right. Okay. I guess there's two ways you could go here, Christine. They're called canine carts.
Yes.
And if you go to, what's it called now? Haley's.
I'll try and Google it.
Haley's cart or something.
Haley's.
Haley, like Haley's Comet. It was actually the mother of a dog who I had. She got one of these carts, and I helped her a lot. And they've got a really good web page about it. But yes, so you need to get special measurements. You need to measure like up to the dog's hips and all this sort of stuff, so you get one made that fits properly. But
yeah, good.
If she can still walk, then have you tried painkillers for her?
Well, the vet's got her on tablets, but she just won't. She's a bit wary about it now. She'll stand up and use her front legs, and then she'll plonk down again. And we've been massaging her legs and everything, but no, not really.
And is arthritis, has that been diagnosed as the problem?
Yes, the vet, yes.
Okay, is she overweight?
She's not overweight, but the vet did say don't let her put on any more weight.
Okay, because that can make a big difference if they lose a little bit of weight. That's probably the biggest thing you can do. Yes, I mean, there's various, there's not hundreds, but there's almost hundreds of different things you can try for dogs with arthritis. If they're really bad, then yes, you go onto the tablets, which may be non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, a bit like sort of the equivalent of Brufen and Voltaren for dogs. Or
can you give me the name of a really good one?
I use Previcox. That's the one that's most gentle on the stomach. Or another one, probably even more common, is Meloxicam or Metacam or Loxicom, are all the same things. So if they're really bad, then you can use cortisone, but cortisone, they tend to put on weight, so that's the downside of that. Also, if it's just sort of one joint, as long as it's not the hip joint, if it was a knee joint or an ankle joint, you can get roll-on cortisone that you can roll around the joint, and the cortisone gets absorbed just under the surface and can have an effect locally on the joint without any of the cortisone side effects. So there's many different things you can do, but yeah, if you Google canine carts, or I think there's probably other names as well. I'll get back to you next week, Christine, with all the other different names, but canine carts is the one that I know. I think if you Google that, there'll probably be other links to other ones that you can get, but you do need to take special measurements to get a cart which is the right fitting for the size of your dog.
But she's happy now. Now she's got over the worst bit of it when she first couldn't get around, but she just still cries when her brother leaves and goes to another area. So I thought, oh no, I've got to do something for you, sweetheart. So,
it's maybe talk to your vet again about different painkillers as well. There's also something called gabapentin, which if it's a nerve pain, if there's like a pinched nerve that's causing the problem, that can help quite a lot. So you could maybe experiment with different painkillers and see if there's one that helps, because it's hard work. Big dogs, actually putting them into the canine carts is hard work. You have to be pretty physically fit yourself.
I know, I find it very hard.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Have a Google, look at the carts, look and see what's involved in putting your dog's back legs into them. And as I say, maybe also have a chat with your vet again about different painkillers and see if that might be an easier solution.
Look, I appreciate that. Thank you for taking my call.
Not at all. Good luck. Yeah, let us know how you go, Christine. I would be very interested to know.
That's my Bella. Don't forget her name, Bella.
I'll remember Bella. I'll remember Bella.
Beautiful Bella.
Yes.
Thank you, Christine, very much. Good luck. I got a text here saying, how do I cut my dog's toenails? Not really
carefully,
toenails,
carefully. If you paw nails, yeah, we call them toenails. If you haven't done them before, you're probably, to go off at a tangent, if you've got a puppy, play with their paws all the time. Get them used to you playing with their paws, even if they don't need the nails cut. Get nail clippers and make the clicking noise beside them, because that sometimes frightens dogs as well. So get them used to that. If you haven't clipped and cut your dog's nails before, go to your vet, get a demonstration. If your dog's nails are white, yippee, because you can see the blood supply through the nail and you know exactly how far back you can cut them without striking oil. If the nails are black, it's much harder. It's even harder for us. We sometimes have to guess how far back to go because you can't see the blood supply, but you can get a rough idea when you watch the dog standing. So for the first time you do it, go to your vet, get a demonstration, get a lesson, and then once you've done it, give your dog lots of treats after you've done it to thank them for being well behaved.
This is an interesting one because I'll ask you about George being a sausage dog, and they're, burrowers. So
Yes.
do they traditionally have longer toenails than other dogs?
No, it's highly variable actually. If you look at the short answer is no. A lot of dachshunds got very short nails. It's governed by the angle that they come out the toe at, and dachshunds aren't sort of different because they're burrowers. It's often based one on the angle that the toenail comes out the toe. If it comes straight down, they're usually very short nails. If they go straight out and then curl down, they look longer, but they still might be at the correct length. So
That's where he is.
Right.
And everyone that comes and says he needs his toenails cut, I tried to do it and he yelped for the ceiling,
Right.
ran under the chair and just looked at me as if I was the worst person in the world and didn't come out for about half an hour, and I've never touched them since.
yes, if you watch your dog, if you just pop them on the ground and look at how they're standing and see if the nails obviously will be touching the ground, make sure it looks like it's not pushing up the toe.
Gotcha.
If it's super long. Again, if you're not sure, just take a photo and send it to your vet, and we can usually tell just from a photo if they're too long or not. Usually about half an hour on a hard surface, so on the pavement, walking every day, usually half an hour is enough to keep toenails down to their natural length. But you do have to watch out for the dew claws, which are the thumbs that are sometimes a little bit up the inside of the leg, because they don't wear out in anything, and they can sometimes grow around in circles, so you have to keep an eye on them and maybe clip them back when they need to be.
Okay, well that makes it feel much, much better, because I thought, oh golly, here we go. He's got the world's longest nails, but we would take him out walking every day for probably half an hour to an hour because he is obsessed with balls.
Yes.
Actually, that is a question. Can a dog be obsessed with something?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. My dog Freddie has a ball in the back garden, and she's a fabulous footballer. And she just, if you put her out there, she'll play until she virtually collapses.
Same with George.
Yeah, loves it.
Constantly. So you'll wake up in the morning and he'll be next to me with his tennis ball in his mouth. Come on, I'm ready to go right now. And all day, doesn't end. When the kids are playing soccer, he will stand in the goal square and catch the soccer ball. And the same thing with the football. When they're kicking the footy at the park, he'll go get the ball and then run back and bring it back. I think he thinks he's a human.
Yeah. Oh, they would do that all day. Yes. I remember years ago with a dog, Bessie, we were playing tennis, and she was chasing the tennis ball and we didn't even notice, and she was running up and down the side, and I shouldn't admit this, but then she collapsed because she was just running. She was so tired she just fell over, and I went, oh dear. But we hadn't noticed, but she was just chasing back the ball backwards and forwards and wouldn't stop.
Wowzers.
She was fine, but she just ran until she couldn't run anymore.
At what point do you say, okay, enough's enough?
If they're panting too hard, if they're looking distressed, if their tongue turns blue.
Okay, they're really obvious signs.
Yes, all those things. If you have to go and make dinner, just bring them inside and get them to sit down.
So earlier last week, actually, I think it was Friday, we were talking about magpies and how these scientists wanted to track the whereabouts of magpies, and they put these little vests on them with cameras. Anyway, they outsmarted the scientists and took the vests off. They each helped each other out. And so I put the phone call out, so, to ring in about whether you've got a special bond with your magpies in your backyard. Do many people have pet birds these days?
Yes.
Yeah,
quite a lot.
They're very loyal, aren't they?
Quite a lot, and they're actually really nice. And I've never professed to being a bird expert at all, but I do really like them. I think, yeah, they're nice, they're friendly, lots of them can talk. You can form a bond, they're pretty to look at.
Do you have Maggies in your backyard?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do get Maggies. My sadly passed away father-in-law, he used to feed them all the time. He used to come into his house and sit in the back of his settee and stuff like that. I mean,
they're amazing.
one of my nurses has got pet rats.
Really?
I know. I mean,
No.
she's a lovely person, and she told me that one, really? But anyway, so it's
Whatever
horses for
floats your
courses.
boat. Exactly
Yeah.
right. Thank you very much, Dr. Derek McNair.
Thank you.
And if anyone would like to give you a buzz, the number is
8363 5323.
beautiful. We're going to take a really short break. You're listening to Adelaide's 5AA.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. Aerial rescues are beginning in the northern New South Wales city of Lismore, where the river has passed its highest record peak and is still rising. Prime Minister Scott Morrison is to hold talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to discuss assistance for the country. Retail trade has risen by a steady 1.8% over the past month, and the Australian Test cricket squad is starting to train in Pakistan ahead of Friday's first test. Showers and possible storms this afternoon. Right now it's 24. More news at 4 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
And the Polar Air Heating and Cooling Salesperson of the Month is... no one. Again. Polar Air Heating and Cooling don't have a sales department. The person that comes to you for a free no-obligation quote is a qualified installer, not someone chasing a commission. So, you'll get exactly what you need. No steak knives. Get ahead of the weather. We're ready to install your air conditioner now. Polar Air Heating and Cooling, for when your lair is unbearable. polarairhc.com.au.
Hi, Susanna Toop here from Toop & Toop. We have just launched an industry first. We're now giving tenants early access to rental properties. Tenants have the opportunity to secure a home up to 2 months in advance and before they become publicly available, giving you greater peace of mind that your next rental property is secured. Simply register online at toop.com.au/rent and we will notify you of any properties that match your needs. It's that easy. And our landlords are benefiting too from our new innovation. On average, we meet over 600 tenants at our open homes each month who are actively looking for a new home to rent. Our landlords can tap into this network and secure quality tenants up to 2 months in advance and before they incur hundreds of dollars in advertising and vacancy costs. If you want to access this incredible tenant network or secure your next home sooner, head to toop.com.au or call us on 8362 8888. That's 8362 8888.
We all want a better life and to be able to enjoy it in our own homes. If you or a loved one need some help to enjoy a better life at home, Southern Cross Care is here for you. Our home care services are led by qualified and compassionate health professionals who will help you take care of yourself, your health, your home and your garden. To find out more, visit southerncrosscare.com.au. Southern Cross Care. Better for life at home.
You're off then?
Yes, dear.
The backyard needs a good trim with the ride-on mower.
Totally. The kids will be done shortly, so they need picking up from the oval.
Good plan. Why are you giving me the car keys?
You can't walk to the oval, silly. Oh, don't worry, the backyard will look fantastic by the time you get back. Mwah.
Okay, dear. But I get the ride-on next time?
We'll see. Probably not.
Stanford Mowers for ride-ons. 590 Main North Road, Jeps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
We've all been on the road trip from hell. Car breaks down, map says go this way, but you went that way, and countless are we there yet? The same can be said for home renos. Nobody wants a nightmare on their way to a stunning new kitchen or bathroom. So if you want everything to go according to plan, go with Buy Urban. They've always believed the journey is just as important as the destination. Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts. Visit buyurban.com.au.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
In a few moments, we'll bring you an update on the unfolding events in the Ukraine, but we have a disaster unfolding in our own backyard, a natural disaster. You would have seen the floods engulfing most of southeast Queensland. They've experienced about a year's worth of rainfall in just a few days. Let's go now to Joel Dry, 7 News reporter, who is on the Brisbane River. Joel, thanks so much for your time. What are you seeing around you right now?
Yeah, g'day, Jade. I can paint a picture for you. I'm actually on board a Maritime Safety Queensland barge. We were just kindly taken for a ride by them to get a scope of the damage along the river and the debris that is floating down the Brisbane River. And in somewhat of a bit of an emergency at the moment, we've come across, it's a large crane that is sitting on a pontoon that's actually broken its moorings. The crane was being used to build a pedestrian bridge across the river, but it's just not been able to cope with the speed and the ferocity of the current. It's sort of broken free and is now drifting towards some infrastructure in the CBD of the Brisbane River. So some areas that are really popular with hospitality. There's restaurants and bars normally along these parts. Obviously at the moment they're closed, but a lot of people were still going down there to have a bit of a sightsee. Police have now had to close off large sections of that. They're not exactly sure what this crane is going to do, and if it does come ashore and hit some of these pontoons or to the bank of the river, it's going to cause quite a lot of damage. But this is indicative of what we've been seeing all day. Huge motor vessels, boats, pontoons just been drifting right throughout the river since, this really picked up yesterday afternoon. We've had days and days of torrential rain. Some parts of the southeast are pushing near a metre of rain in just a couple of days. For some context, Adelaide's entire average rainfall is about half a metre. So you're looking at double Adelaide's yearly rainfall in just a few hours. That gives you a sense of why there is widespread flooding across the southeast Queensland region and also into northern New South Wales. About 140 suburbs in the southeast alone have homes inundated. Thousands of properties have gone under. It's going to be a massive clean-up and a pretty difficult one for a lot of people here in Queensland.
Oh, Joel, it is just devastating. And has the river reached its peak?
It's reached a peak. This morning on the high tide, it reached around 4 metres, which is actually below the 2011 flood. But interestingly, a lot of properties that didn't go under in 2011 have gone under this time, such as the unpredictability of the flow of water. The tide is now going out, so it has dropped, but there is another high tide later this evening, so it will come up again. So if you are unlucky enough to be in the firing line, you've had a nervous time this morning, and you'll have another nervous one later on today.
And sadly, there have been lives lost.
Yeah, another couple of lives lost overnight. I think it's up to about 7 or 8 from this total flood emergency that began several days ago. We've had a loss of life down on the Gold Coast in Currumbin Creek area. So it now stretches from, Sunshine Coast further out towards the Gympie area, now down to the Gold Coast. So it gives you a sense of where this has been a threat over the past few days and just the scale of the whole thing.
And Joel, we know Queenslanders are a resilient bunch, but they've experienced this one too many times. How are they holding up?
Yeah, well, at the moment, it's still ongoing, right? So for a lot of people that want to get stuck in and do the clean-up, they're being told to hold fire because the high tide will come back tonight. If you go through the process of cleaning, you may have water through your property again. So the Mud Army, which was an iconic movement from the 2011 floods, that is being reactivated. Mud Army 2.0, they're saying. So that will begin, but it's probably not going to be for a couple of days before they start to call out for volunteers. But when they do, I'm sure people will come in their droves because they are pretty resilient. They're used to this. It doesn't make it any easier, but people are keen to help out where they can.
And do you know when the rain's expected to stop?
So the rain here, for the most part in southeast, in Brisbane, where I am, stopped this morning. We're getting the odd shower, but that relentless rain was continuing overnight. It is now abated. It's pushed south down onto the Gold Coast and probably eased up there too. But that northern New South Wales area is a particular concern at the moment. Lismore, and I don't have full details on Lismore, but that is one to keep an eye on because they have broken all records for that town. The whole CBD is under, and they're now talking about an event that's not just a once-in-a-lifetime, a once-in-100-year. They have never seen this in that part of northern New South Wales. So pretty devastating down there.
Oh, Joel, it's awful. And you stay safe too. Thank you so much for the update.
Good on you. Thank you.
Cheers. That's Joel Dry there from 7 News, and you can see his report on the news later tonight. So, as we're hearing, thousands of homes have been impacted by the floods. Brisbane River peaked at 3.85 metres, as you heard Joel say there. It's just under the 4 metre peak that the Bureau warned could be possible today. But strangely enough, those devastating floods that happened in 2011, some of those homes along the riverbank there, they weren't engulfed back in 2011 but have been today. So awful story. And also that Logan area, I was just watching on Sky News there that the local mayor has taken to Facebook asking for anybody with boats to please contact them ASAP to make their way to a certain street. There's families stuck inside a home. Vision that we're seeing now, we can just see the tops of roofs, just tiny little, tops of roofs. Entire buildings and businesses are underwater. We're looking up now, a Caltex service station is completely and utterly engulfed. It really does look like the River Murray, but in the streets of Logan and all around that southeast area of Queensland. So we have heard that sadly 8 people have now died as a result of the flash flooding. A man in his 50s, he was the latest victim of the dangerous weather. I believe that was around the Gold Coast area. Our residents in Logan, they've been warned major flooding along the Logan River is expected to peak today, with levels predicted to hit around that 1.5 metres, which is above the 2017 flood levels. So our thoughts and prayers certainly go to everybody in the area. It's just absolutely devastating. Around 15,000 homes across Brisbane have been impacted, and more than 51,000 Queenslanders are now without power. It's Anastasia Palaszczuk, the Premier there, she has said that the unpredictable rain bomb has impacted the entirety of Queensland's southeast. Oxley residents are told the newspapers that they had warned off a number of people who were travelling from house to house in kayaks, and that people just really need to get out and stay away from the areas. We are going to take a short break. Coming up afterwards, we're going to talk to Dr. Keith Salter, our overseas expert in regards to the war unfolding between Ukraine and Russia.
Hi there, I'm Grishma, a Specsavers optometrist. Did you know that every Specsavers is locally owned and operated by an optometrist, just like me? We believe eye tests should reveal more, not cost more, which is why we include an OCT advanced 3D eye scan with every eye test at no extra charge. Does your optometrist? Experience the Specsavers difference and book your eye test today. We're here to look after your eye health and keep you safe in store. Visit specsavers.com.au.
Adelaide returns to its spiritual home in Botanic Park for its 30th anniversary with a birthday party to remember. Catch artists like Paul Kelly, the Cat Empire, Goanna, Joseph Tawadros with the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra and more from March 11 to 14. With a reduced capacity this year, tickets are selling fast. So make sure you don't miss out on Adelaide, March 11 to 14. Book your tickets and see the full lineup now at womadelaide.com.au.
With over 300 destinations, G'day Parks is Australia's largest network of holiday parks. That means it's also Australia's largest network of... Australia's largest network of...
Dinner's ready.
Australia's largest network of... And Australia's largest network of... Download the app or book online at g'dayparks.com.au. It's easy. The hard part is leaving when the holidays are over. G'day Parks. Here's good.
Want European floor tiles at 28% off? Why wouldn't you? At Beaumont's, Australia's biggest floor tile sale is on now. 28% off select European floor tiles and massive slabs from $99. Save on floor tiles or grab a slab. You'll be happy you chose Beaumont's.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
G'day landscape gurus. Want something to make you look even better than you already do? Install Rainbird's Arvan rotary sprinkler nozzles. They're designed to improve water efficiency, throwing the right amount of water effectively and getting the best results from your lawns. You can have a green lawn in no time. Don't believe me? Just look at the MCG's outfield. Smooth and pristine green. They installed Rainbird. So install Rainbird's Arvan rotary sprinkler nozzles. Rainbird, the intelligent use of water. Learn more at rainbird.com.
Sometimes little things can turn into big things. Jammed garden taps, blocked watering systems. Give Ken a call today and see how easy and affordable it is to fix them. Give Ken a call. Ken Hall Plumbers, 8364 5855.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
3:44 on this Monday afternoon. My next guest has been hailed a hero. He dived into the flood waters in Logan to save a disabled man. He joins me now. Travis Geddes, thank you very much for joining the program. What happened?
Oh, hey. Yeah, no, it was just early this morning. I went down to the front of our complex to see how much flooded in we were. And we're just all standing there, and then all of a sudden we heard this big splash, and we saw the guy just start floating, and his car was drifting towards the middle bit type much. So then I went down to have a look and realised he had a disabled sticker on his car. So I said to two other boys, "Oh, boys, we've got to get him, eh?" So then we all went in, got control of the car as it was spinning around, grabbed it, pulled it as far as we can, up until the tyres hit the ground. And then I opened up the door, all the water rushed in, and tried to control his nerves a bit because he was really terrified and scared.
Wow.
And then, eventually got him pulled out and then just pulled him up to dry land, and he was all right. He was really shooken up. He was really scared and very apologetic, but he was all right at the end of the day.
Oh, mate, you saved his life. It's an incredible story. Have you had a chance to sit back and think, oh, my golly, we could have lost our lives?
That really hasn't, sunk in yet. It was just like one of those things where you saw someone and needed help, and me and the two other boys, Stewie and Robert, just, let's go get him, boys. And then, we grabbed him.
And what was the water like?
It just had a lot of, debris in it. It was freezing. Just muddy. Yeah, it's pretty full on.
And did it take much convincing to get your two mates to jump in, or you just right,
No.
we got to fight?
Not at all. Not at all. It was just, I went in a bit, up to my waist to, get a closer look at the guy, and I realised, he's staying in, and he's out of control. We have to get him or else,
Oh,
yeah,
buddy.
bugger.
Unbelievable. You're an absolute hero, and
thank you.
Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Logan right now. It's just absolutely bucketing down, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've got another hit coming tonight. The water really isn't subsiding, because at my complex, we're all flooded in. The whole thing, the whole basement, everything. If you walk outside the front door down to the ground level, you're already up to chest deep water. So I'm kayaking people to help get them, parents, single mums with kids, just put all their baggage on my kayak, get them to high ground, and they can just Uber it out of here pretty much. I'm doing that all day.
Is that how you spent the day, saving people all day?
Just helping. I'm pretty wrecked right now. I've been doing this since 5:30 this morning. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm happy to do it.
Oh, champ, there's the Aussie spirit right there.
That's
well
exactly.
done.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks for chatting with us. You go back to being Superman, and please look after yourself. Please be safe.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Travis. Thank you so much. Wow, what a bloody hero he is. Let's find out what's happening in the world of sport. Of course, Rowey Sports Show is on after 4 o'clock. G'day, Rowey.
What a great lad. Hey?
Amazing. People are doing amazing things up there.
That's an Aussie right there. Scary, isn't it? We've had all those fires. We've had floods. We've had now a invasion.
Yeah.
We've had COVID. All we're missing is a plague of locusts.
There, don't put it out there.
No, but it's
Enough.
scary stuff. So our thoughts with everyone in Queensland, quite clearly. Hey, footy's well and truly back. The first and only community game is this weekend. Crows take on Port. It'll be live and local on 5AA from about 3. Richmond Oval Saturday. How good's that? It's getting real. It's also getting real because today they've officially announced capacity stadium for round 1, which is brilliant, and so they should. Bix is back, which is brilliant. We love Bix.
Yeah.
And also Caro on Thursday, so do not miss Caro. Might be a little bit of...
Yeah, I reckon there might be.
Starting to get serious. Simon Hill will talk about the Russia and all the things and implications of the World Game. No one wants to play them. I think the IOC and FIFA need to pull their big man pants on and step up a little bit. So we'll talk about that. 36ers with CJ Bruton. He's got a story to tell. And your calls. Big show. Love it.
Beauty.
See you at 4.
Thank you so much. Well, the sun is rising in Ukraine to more devastation, more lives lost. It comes as peace talks are due to be held between Ukraine and Russia on the Belarusian-Ukraine border. Let's talk to Dr. Keith Suter from Global Directions think tank. Dr. Keith Suter, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much. This is surely a good thing.
It is, although we're not sure what's going to come out of it. It's very difficult to work out what Putin is going to do. Clearly, the bottom line here is that the invasion has not gone according to plan. And, of course, military textbooks will always tell you that all your military plans never get very far once you engage with the enemy. And this is exactly what's happened here, that Putin expected a quick victory. I think a lot of his soldiers are probably not terribly well informed about politics. They were fed this story that they were going in to liberate Ukrainians from a fascist dictatorship, and that hasn't worked out. The Ukrainians have put up a big struggle. They don't want to be ruled by the Russians, and so the ordinary Russian soldiery has been somewhat surprised. They are not being welcomed as liberators, but instead as dictators. So Putin has clearly put himself into yet another corner by going ahead with this invasion, and now he's, I think, maybe perhaps trying to find a way at least of negotiating a ceasefire. The risk, of course, is that you'll end up with a situation in northern Ukraine, similar to what you have in eastern Ukraine, namely Russia still controlling a strip of territory. And that is the risk that we run, that the Russians are just going to nibble away at Ukraine over the decades to come.
So just on the peace talks, when you're at war with each other, you hate each other's guts, how on earth do you sit in a room and have this discussion?
You send in diplomats. So a diplomat is a person who's sent abroad to lie on behalf of his country. So they will greet each other and they will carry out negotiations. And so that's clearly going to be the big diplomatic breakthrough. I'm not that confident, but nonetheless, the Ukrainian president has realized that he's not going to get any military assistance in terms of boots on the ground from America or the rest of NATO. So he's obviously anxious for a way out. And then Putin is also anxious for a way out because his operation isn't working.
So Putin ordered his defence chiefs to put the country's nuclear deterrence forces on high alert on Sunday. Now that sounds really terrifying, but is it as scary as it sounds, or could it be just a threat?
Every bit as scary as it sounds, I'm afraid. And what we now know with Putin is that the man does not follow a rational program. And a rational person would not have invaded Ukraine. And so a rational person will not be firing a nuclear explosive probably over the North Sea between Britain and Denmark as a sort of a demonstration about what the Russians can do. That's the risk that we run.
So, Keith, watching the people of Ukraine stand up for their country and fight over the weekend, it's given me goosebumps. They're unbelievable, and their resilience and their resistance is incredible, isn't it?
It is. I was expecting them to lose phase one quite easily because it's, in terms of conventional forces, Russia has outnumbered them. You've got 140 million people versus 40 million. But in fact, this first stage has not gone according to plan. The second stage would be moving from invasion to occupation and trying to control the land, and that's where I expected the Ukrainians to be successful, just like Afghanistan. The Soviets invaded Afghanistan in 1979 but couldn't occupy it. And after a decade, they just fled the country. And that's what I was envisaging for Ukraine, that the human cost of trying to occupy the country would become too extreme for the Russians, because once you've got troops out of those tanks, you would have seen that film footage of the tank running over a car.
Oh, incredible.
So, you can do that if you're inside a tank, but then when you get outside the tank, suddenly you become vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's a good time to start killing Russians. So I would expect the second stage to have been won by Ukraine. But by the looks of it, even the first stage, which is the invasion part of it, is still going very well for the Ukrainians.
thank goodness. The EU has said that they'll provide fighter jets. Does that come as a surprise? Because most people sort of were backing away saying, no, we'll do the sanctions, we won't, really provide materialistic things. But it sounds like there's certain groups that are now.
Yes, I think that they're going to be supplying equipment. I'm not sure they're going to be supplying the pilots.
Okay.
But they will supply the equipment, as are the Americans and the British. They're also supplying equipment, but not providing boots on the ground.
Okay.
That would be a red line that would really get Putin ready to use nuclear weapons. Putin is, by the way, on nuclear weapons, has said that he can't imagine what a world would be like without Russia. So if he thinks that Russia's going to lose in this war, he just destroys the entire planet.
Jesus. What's he got?
Well, you see, that's what I find intriguing. This is a man who's made a reputation for himself being a cool, calculating, almost a chess player in international politics, super sophisticated, etc. And yet now he's behaving like a mad person.
Mm.
And we've got to hope that there are people around him who realise his insanity and decide to knock him off. The problem, though, is that we don't know who's going to replace him, and whoever does replace him will also have access to those nuclear weapons.
Well, there's also fears that Russia's ally Belarus will join the invasion. Do you think? Well, how would that change the landscape?
Well, it's in a sense they are implicated because they're a launching pad for the attack on particularly Kiev, because it's a lot easier to get to Kiev from Belarus than to go across the country from Russia. So they are already assisting. If they were to move in big time, it'll make life even more difficult for Ukraine and put even more pressure on Biden to have some troops on the ground to try to level the playing field a bit.
Oh, gosh, there's still so much to play out, isn't there? I just wanted to ask you quickly, the Ukraine president, who I think's a bloody legend in all of this, by the way, he really pleaded with Elon Musk over the weekend to activate his Starlink internet service. Elon Musk responded. How big of a play is it, or how helpful is that for Ukraine?
I have no idea how helpful that would be, but if Zelensky is asking for it, then I think the least that can be done is to assist them.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how effective it would be. Yeah, the satellite system. I might just say, by the way, your comment about Zelensky, this is a guy who was a comedian, who played the role of a president, and now is an actual president, and is now an international hero.
Oh.
It's an amazing transformation on his part. I think he'll probably end up at the end of the year as Timed Person of the Year.
And he absolutely deserves it. Dr. Keith Suter, thank you very much. I feel that we will be talking about this some more in the next few days.
Indeed. Thanks, Jade.
Thank you kindly. That is our foreign affairs expert, Dr. Keith Suter. Thank you so much for joining the program this afternoon. Have a great evening. Stay safe, everyone.
I'm Travis Denham from Again Real Estate. It's often just one special feature that helps spark interest in a home. Outdoor blinds